And joining us again, the newly titled Rick Olive.
Yes.
All right. Rick Olive, you're going to have to check out something that's blowing up the charts, man, and really getting a huge buzz online on social media. News coverage is out the waz. I'm talking about the CW's Black Lightning.
Yes, man. It's actually after I watched the first episode, and I'm pretty.
Hold on, pause. Herb, cue up the Shaft theme. I'm kidding.
You know, what's funny? I came into the episode expecting something campy like
Black
that.
Lightning. So did I, man.
You know what I mean? I just because it's.
I would have dug too.
I would not.
I expected it.
I would not
It's
because
just the CW. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, man. They're so used to doing the shows where it's like an arrow, he's been away from blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
Fine, we
Pace
get
is
it.
left on the
You've
dock
got your-
without a girlfriend.
Well, yeah, but no. The problem is, it's like anytime they do a show with a primarily black cast or a black leading character or anything,
The template's pretty typical.
yeah, if it's not the right people in that production booth, calling a few shots and making a few even in the editing booth, you know exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say white people don't know black people.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
no. I'm saying they'll try to do something cool to make it.
Some of the first episode did fall into that slightly, a little bit. Certain parts of the episode felt like that.
It did, but it felt like they were trying too hard, more to appeal to younger audiences than to specifically black audiences.
Yeah.
And that I think I can forgive
Yeah.
because the show was still being made by adults.
Yeah.
This was something like, yeah, man, he's a principal, but he's also got afros and he's walking in huge butterfly collars, and then he drives an Impala up to something like, why are you people free to walk?
And just for background, Black Lightning, his name is Jefferson Pierce. He runs he's a principal for a high school in the south side of Metropolis. I want to say Chicago, but
he's one of DC's first primarily
black
black owned and prominent and black featuring characters.
First
in
appearance
DC Comics
in the Bronze Age, 1977.
Correct.
Issue. Correct. Yeah.
And for a long time, you didn't see him in the comics because there was a big dispute where DC wanted to own the character. They never owned the character until later on. I think it was close to his death when they finally were able to acquire the rights.
The creator's death? Yeah, I think so.
So the dude held out.
That sounds pretty.
He held out. That's what. And it's a damn shame because Black Lightning, despite the characteristics, has always been one of my favorite. I'll say one of my favorite black comic characters. Put it in that compartmentalization because there are several. There's like Luke Cage. There's former Miss Marvel. I forget what her name is now. Former Captain Marvel. She got the pro on. She was part of Next Wave.
Nah,
I forget her real name. I'll look. Yeah, the second I find a picture, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, that's Luke Cage.
Misty Knight's from Luke Cage. Yeah, she was Captain Marvel. They're talking about doing a new series with her now. Anyways, long story short, Black Lightning was one of my favorite of these characters because whereas you have John Stewart, he's like, yeah, he was a military man, he's part of Justice League, and he's a team player and all this stuff. Black Lightning was always like, he's always been just an angry and super serious, almost humorless dude who's all about his business. He's not going to make wise cracks.
Yeah.
That's like Shaft. And it's funny you mentioned the thing, but that's like...
Shaft had ladies
not
and stuff.
Not cracking any jokes, though.
Shaft
Like going about it.
This dude, he's a family man.
He kind of avoided... with them, it's like you can't really exploit Black Lightning or Jefferson Pierce, the character's name. You can't really exploit him in that sense, man. He's just really down to earth.
Yeah, and he's
brother who's just trying to look out for his community.
He's not a former pimp,
drug dealer,
former sports star, former drug dealer, former gang member. None of that.
Right.
He's just a dude who came up from the community.
It's like a guy doesn't have a dark past just to be a serious character.
Exactly.
He's just and he didn't have like a real origin story. Like he was basically born a metahuman, which is mutants basically in the DC
there was
world.
no accident. He plugged in the toaster the wrong way. And,
he was just one day he got mad and he figured out that he can static shock somebody.
And I've always loved that because it shows you don't have to do anything silly to lampoon a character's origins, and you can have a character who just happens to be black in a black community, but he's still a superhero without having to be something extra. Luke Cage,
it sounds like a really original first of its kind type of thing.
And I loved it. And besides the corny ass costume, I've always loved Black Lightning.
He's got a corny ass costume?
He's had one costume that was almost legit, and everything else has been just complete lack of
style. Was very accepting of the one that I produced on the show, so it was pretty good.
You're getting it? All right, I gotta see this.
So simultaneously, I mean, the first episode actually was really strong. Wow. I know, right? You see it, right?
Yeah, bro.
All of John. Okay.
This one.
All of us. Anyone who's not watching us on twitch.tv/the Geek Down should
hilarious.
I can pull that up.
Yeah. Anyone just listening, you can just scroll through those. Johnny's looking at some of the past costumes Black Lightning's had.
Purple and
they're
gold.
all horrible. Purple and gold, the blue and gold, all of them with huge collars, random lightning bolts
giant,
across.
like pirate boots.
Yeah, one of my favorite comics.
You're from the south side?
The south side of Xanadu.
Of Florida, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like going to the club.
One of my favorite comics that incorporated Black Lightning in one of those time travel crossing stories was when members of the Legion of Superheroes from the far off future with the corny names, Kid Karate Kid, and all the Pharaoh Man, weirdness. Right. One of them was they looked at Black Lightning's costume, and they all have corny costumes. They saw his with like the weird lightning bolts on the shoulders for no like legitimate reason, and they're like, oh, I guess this must be the past iteration of Lightning Lad. And you know what? You look at it, you're like, that's exactly where this artist took the inspiration from, and this is the writers shaming him.
Too bad it's not.
Too
bad it's Chicago, not Harlem, because you could get Dapper Dan on that thing right quick.
It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Outside of a tropical.
So anyway, we're getting a little off the point. I'll make a final thing about the costumes. The only thing that had them in something legitimate, which I actually have the action figure.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I got a Black Lightning action figure. They released very few, but in the 90s, there was one as part of a Justice League line with a good-looking Wonder Woman, good-looking Superman, good-looking Batman, with a weird cape. Good figure, horrible cape. But the Black Lightning, it's also one of the few Hawkman ones. Black Lightning and Hawkman. And he's in the 90s costume, which was just kind of like imagine if Uncle Fester or like a leather thing with a belt. So it's just like the full body suit. Yeah. But it looks like part of like some kind of, you remember Harry Potter? There was the dark, no, never mind. It was just like a full body suit. It was black with like a turtleneck that came up to here. And it had a couple lightning bolts down the front with dark colors. And the whole thing was like, I don't need any fancy suit. I just throw this on because it hides my identity, and I'm going to blast you. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. And that was cool. The rest of them have been Johnny's new butterfly collar favorites over there.
Sure. Yeah. Butterfly collar. So, D, is this an accurate representation of the character that you're familiar with?
I mean, for me it was. I mean, you can't get any better than what, like I said, I was expecting something really campy, something really typical, stereotypical black show.
Yeah.
They did. It was good to see black people in good light. Successful black people. That's always good to see. You know what I mean? Especially with the climate. Of
just like even
society.
an average, like this. Is
it opens up with him.
Like,
it opens up with him accepting an award
right.
as the best principal of the year. You do great for the kids in the community. That's great. But one thing about the CW that I will give them is like they always do a great job of character development. So right away you dive into him. I thought he was about to. I don't know if you've seen it, but you did watch it, right?
Yes, I did.
So he's crooning the girl with the short cut, and I didn't realize that was his wife.
Yeah. They do a lot
and he's always doing this like
back and
smooth
forth.
brother stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's typical. And then I find out it was his ex-wife. I'm like, oh, he has to be smooth. So she's gonna charge him with child support.
I like that because that was a bit of a curve that they threw you because it seems like they hinted a lot of that stuff that we were talking about we didn't want to see. They hinted, he's gonna do this. Yeah. He's getting that.
Which pissed me off though. Is like, why is he separated? Like, but then again, they as you watch the episode, you kind of understand why is she separated from him.
Yes.
Is it a relief to see? I mean, obviously, like being the hero character, a black being hero character. Is it nice to see just like a character just being an average guy? Like know what I mean? Just feel like okay, there's nothing remarkable about him. Just actually being normal. You know what I mean? Is that like a relief?
For me, it was. I mean, it's just like I said. Most of those shows tend to be stereotypical.
Or like even praising it up more to like make up for something.
No. They make it seem like he's someone who he's got powers. He did his part as a hero, but he's not like, well, the greater good is calling me back, or the fight is so and so.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? No, I did good in the community. I cleaned things up. It's better now. It's not perfect, but neither is. I know I'm not the hero that's going to save the world. I made a difference, and now I'm going to make a different kind of difference by training new generations.
Right. And they'll expound on that as the show. I think it was picked up for like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So as the episodes goes on, you're gonna find out why he stepped away from the Black Lantern mantle, and obviously he's coming back for a reason. Black Lightning. Thank you. And
I would like to see a Black Lantern show though.
Damn, yeah.
The Walking Dead in the DC universe or something.
What I didn't like though, honestly, and I figured they were gonna do something like this. They opened up very politically. They
getting
pulled over in the car. Police. And I guess it was something happened where there was a
Fresh
robbery.
Prince episode. He's like,
I wasn't crazy about that, but I think I understand why.
They had to set tone.
The climate.
Yeah. Set the tone, and obviously there was involvement with a gang, which is typical because
Well, that's what I'm saying. Anything that has to do with that type of character, like, has to almost shoehorn that in some way because
Well, it
I mean it
skirted
is
the
part of
line.
life, but it's just like
Yeah,
Well,
it's
this
skirted the
it
line,
skirted the line, and every time you think, oh, this is what they're doing, now I see, and I was waiting for them to do something to make me not like it. I was waiting for it because it's just so ingrained.
Yeah.
It's just
I
so
know.
expected. And when I say they skirted
Agreed,
the line,
100%.
they introduced those characters, but not to say like he was ever a part of them or he was. It's just to say, okay, we're acknowledging that in this world these things do exist,
yes,
but we're not linking
Okay.
him to them.
right.
He's the dude that was a school principal. In the community, you have gangsters in the community. They just exist. That's a factor of the world. But it's not what his story's about. There's drugs. That's not what his story's about.
Right.
And I like the restraint that he showed, like during that scene. Like he looks at him, he's like, literally, you're gonna pull me over. I fit the description of a guy who drives a S80 Volvo station wagon with 2 successful black girls in the car and the principal of the school, and I have a suit on. But you're gonna pull me over because I robbed a grocery store.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
seems like
yeah.
something that would do. Right.
In the rain, it was really great. But great presentation. I'm looking forward to the next episode. The way it ended is obviously going canon with comic books because I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
It ended on a proper note. My only problem with it, I have very few issues with it. I got to give the show a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Totally.
2 thumbs up on my end.
Absolutely.
Which is well done.
But my problem with it is, and ironically enough, it goes back to what we mentioned before. This is a TV show. It's a different format.
Yeah.
Why is the suit so corny? The suit, it looks like BMX armor and a domino mask. Seriously, it's like he walked off the set of Eyes Wide Shut and walked on to Black Lightning.
Well, you know what was funny though? Like,
his suit was funny.
For this fourth CW show, and I don't know if you guys are following it, but like most because I do watch a majority of this because it's
like a family friendly network.
That wasn't family friendly when he grabbed the guy.
I'm saying this is the network. That's why
the network. Actually, they've been doing stuff like Arrow was
pretty risque. Like,
it's
starting to push the limit.
The Flash is a little less cutesy now.
Yeah.
Did they also do what was
I'm
it?
saying traditionally, they might have starting to get out of that, but
Smallville was pretty kosher.
Smallville was pretty okay. All right. I thought when they introduced like some of the other characters, other Justice League. No. Okay, well then those two at least, they've been like pretty dark shows.
Right.
So this isn't.
But I'm saying traditionally, maybe they're more known as that, but they're breaking out of that for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to like go nth degree with it, and I'm not nth degree. They're trying to go left with it.
Right.
And Black Lightning was definitely one of those shows. This was not a kid show.
Yeah.
I would recommend like if you're around like teens and stuff, you check this out. And the overview is it does seem like a dude who's trying to do right, and he's a responsible father, and his kids are messing up, and he's taking care of business and doing good things in the community. That's what it seemed overview. But then just wait till you get to him in action as Black Lightning.
Yeah,
because
pretty unapologetic.
Man, wrecked shop.
See, I like that. Playing on those conventions, CW show, Principal, and Black. You know what? Like, then it's like, damn.
I was right.
And what I like, into piggyback, like he tried his hardest not to bring back Black Lightning.
Yeah, this was very much.
He reached out to his
like it did a John Wick thing. I'm thinking I'm back.
He's like, I'm pretty much back after you grab my kid.
Not John Wick 2, definitely John Wick 1. John Wick 2 was like, no, he was ready for it.
John
John Wick 1 was like, look, I really just don't, come on, man. But look, I'm saying, hey, you know what? Robbie, take a while. Just go. I don't want.
The rest of the movie, I'm not answering any more questions. Yeah.
I'm asking you nicely. Don't. Okay, fine. And that's a good way to describe it. Like, kind of like DC's John Wick. I'll say.
Sold, yeah. As long as DC does something.
Yeah, and
worthwhile. Yeah.
I was ready for it to be like, well, fine. I'm back, I guess. He's flying from a distance, and he throws a lightning bolt here, and the lights go out, and that's it. No, he's walking down that sucker like back in your hotel room. Oh, you want some of this? What's that? You're nuts. Pretty much. He's like, yeah. Oh, you're the one that touched my daughter. Excuse me.
Is that your car?
Yeah. Oh. He did say that. That was okay. There was at least one corny line. Yeah. It could have been badass.
It was nice. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But I will say I anticipate like good things from this because I was ready to not like. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was ready to not like this because so much hype was behind it.
Yeah.
And also, and I've gotten the same criticism about myself from like Mix Macabre and other people before, where it's like I've always been a DC comic reader, and I've been disappointed with what they've been doing in the comics for a long time because they've taken care. I've been a long time fan. Characters I've liked for a long time, and they did suspect stuff with them, and then they take lesser known characters and they feel the need to do like
giant things.
Yeah,
there's
just
so
because
much
they're
that they
listed
can
in
do
character
with
Black
them, though.
Lightning. Well, there is, but
And then they
what
make
they've been
crappy
doing
movies.
has not been good. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Black Lightning is one of those characters where I was afraid that this might be one of the ones because Black Lightning's always been a member of the Justice.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of him before this?
No,
Yeah,
I have.
well,
Nope.
obviously I have. I read comic books.
Yeah, you
He
guys
had,
are
he had a big
serious
role in
comic readers.
Final Crisis. No, Infinite Crisis.
Okay, but comic readers.
Yeah, but you're like
We'll
intense
know.
comic readers. I think the layman.
Like for the average, like
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure
No.
Johnny doesn't read too many comic books,
I
but
don't read comics at all, so.
so
Yeah,
he probably would never
it
know.
could have gone either way because of that. Well, I was afraid that they might take this opportunity to do that really weird stuff. It would have been the Captain America 70s. Yeah, some dumb stuff. So I will fully admit I got to come out. I was ready to be to have that bias, and I was actually very impressed with the way it presented itself.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy to eat crow on that because, dude,
So
it was a good show, and it's rare that you can go in and like honestly, I was hoping it'd be good, but I was ready for it to be bad, and I'm glad they. were
now,
able to
one
turn
thing
that
I
on
couldn't
here.
confirm before you wrap up, is it canon with the current DC television universe? Like,
Well,
are we
yeah.
going to see crossovers, including Black Lightning now?
They've already announced that you will not see crossovers, at least not now,
Okay.
and I like that. That gives
Yeah,
gives
keep it
room to
separate.
stand on its own 2 feet.
Right.
Don't try to crowbar
It's
any of
actually
them
not-
into Arrow.
Takes the pressure off a little bit.
You know, and
'Cause I feel like those crossovers have really been kind of crippling the other shows. So,
Yeah.
no, Adam said it right.
I'll help you. I'll help you with that. Yeah.
though I heard that last one was pretty good because I didn't see it. The last crossover between all the four
What,
CW
Defenders?
shows.
No, that's
No,
Marvel.
Defenders. That's Marvel. We're
Defenders weren't
talking
half bad either, but
the last
I-
the last when they worked on Earth 10 or whatever. The last CW crossover. With all
Oh,
four shows.
with
Arrow,
Legend of the DC
Super-
Universe,
yeah.
with Legend of Tomorrow,
Yeah.
Arrow, Flash.
Legends of the Fall
Okay,
of Brad.
I didn't. Legend of the Hidden Temple.
That was a great show. Don't talk about.
Blue Barracuda, all that stuff.
No, I actually didn't watch that. Because I gave Legend of Tomorrow a shot, and I just didn't like what they were doing with the show. And
Yeah,
then
agreed.
when they introduced when they did all that press for introducing Vixen,
Yeah.
it seemed like a real desperation.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like, I
And
know
like
these
they
characters.
did with Vixen, that's why I felt like Black Lightning was gonna fall victim to that same type of desperation. So.
I'm glad I'm so glad it did. Black Lightning, I give a thumbs up. It
Good.
was just I'm people watching the video right now see me scrambling on my phone because I'm trying to find the name of the actor. I didn't write it down before the show because I had it in my head and for some reason I can't remember it now. But tell me if you remember this, brother. And I don't know if you guys watched Living Single growing up.
No.
Okay.
Cress Williams.
Yes.
His name is Cress Williams.
him. He played Scooter. And I haven't seen the brother since 20 years ago. This dude played a random recurring B-level B team character named Scooter on one of the most obscure, popular and very good but obscure sitcoms, black sitcoms, called Living Single. Pretty much like if Golden Girls was black and young.
Yeah.
You know?
Cedric Yarbaugh.
No. That's really? Are you serious? That's Officer Jones from Reno 911.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
very different person.
I'm just looking at the cast.
No,
right
even
now.
better. No, you know what that is? Shaka Giddy, yeah. That's what that is. No. Cress Williams. Did a great job. I'm anxious to see more Black Lightning. I highly encourage anyone to check this out.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. I'm excited to see the development. They're definitely keeping it as canon as possible with the DC character in the comics.
Mhm.
Something that happened at the end of the episode was well worth it. So I'm excited to see how they pan out with that because it'll be like a family affair. So we'll see what good. But
Yep,
as far as I'm concerned, 2 thumbs up.
So absolutely.
Any day of the week.
Sorry, I'm happy they've introduced also his daughters
Yeah.
because they
I don't
play
wanna spoil
significant
it, but yeah.
roles. Well, I mean, they're just mentioning they're in.
Yeah.
Because they play significant roles in the DC Comics universe,
Yep.
and I'm really anxious to see how they play out in the show as well.
Yep.
So CW's Black Lightning, check it out. All right, now we're nearing the end of our time here. I really just want to take a second to, well, first of all, thank you all